Hello, hello, my model factory, SupremeDellerior back at it again. Today, I will finally be releasing the models I've promised you lot for so long. These were some of the first videos I put out on the channel, and now I am finally giving them to you because they're finally ready for release. So, without further ado, let's look into what I've made for you. Right here, we have Untwisted Freddy. Look at this man. In accordance with the descriptions in the book, his face splits open, same with the jaw, so that he can swallow very large things like people, because he is meant to abduct people. The stomach also splits open, so he can abduct people. He's very large because they're the untwisted animatronics. They're supposed to be essentially the twisted animatronics, but if they weren't, so evil looking. Of course, we still need to have them look fairly evil looking. They're they're kind of designs based off of stuff from like a horror series. Like a horror franchise. They gotta look creepy at least. So here you can see the glowing eyes. They're fairly small compared to the sockets. The clawed feet and hands. Weight painted these fingers, if you know what that means. Yeah. I suppose there's not quite a lot to talk about that's unique to him. I mean, the whole split face feature, split jaw, split stomach. I mean, it really extends to all of the untwisted animatronics. So I suppose I'll load up the next one here. And here we have Foxy. Now, you might not be able to see him, his whole body from this camera angle. My bad. He's actually really low to the ground right now because of book posing shenanigans. His torso is split open at the moment. His arms are fairly thin. He has shoulder pads. Not all of them do. But he has shoulder pads. His torso is fairly long for fitting kids. He also has knee pads. Again, not all of them have that. Like with Freddy, his feet and hands are clawed. His eyes also glow. His ears are fairly oval-shaped, if memory serves. Yeah, fairly enough oval-shaped. He has a lot of teeth. He has a second row right here. He also has a tongue. So I added that because Twisted Foxy also had that. But I also liked how it looked on Nightmare Foxy. And I think it's a shame Scott removed that from his model. So I added it here. I think it should have been a bit longer, though. I think I should have added more segments. Maybe later. You can see his hook. Not much to say about it. It's fairly sharp. It's made of metal. And here, you can also see his eye patch. I almost forgot to add that. Here, you can also see his gaping maw. Incredibly wide. There's not much to talk about with him either, I suppose. I really like the way his eyes look in his socket, though. I really like the way it looks. The endos on these guys are a bit screwy, but that's because they're not really supposed to be seen. They're supposed to fit into the costumes. And I think they merge quite well. I really like the way they all turned out. So I'll load up the next one. So here we have Bonnie. He's actually one of my favorites because of how he looks. I really like the way the textures look with the purple. He doesn't have any knee pads. His feet are clawed, per usual. The tips are a different color from the rest of his arms, and the bottom of his feet different color from the rest of his legs. Same can be said for practically every other Untwisted one. His eyes are actually purple, believe it or not. You can also, and this is true for most of them, you can bring out a glowy dot in the center of the eyes. I think it looks really cool when you do that. If I could just... note that I also leave the outline around it, because I like the way it looks. He has whiskers too. His teeth are fairly large. They're buck-toothed right here because he is a rabbit. He also has fairly large shoulder pads. His ears have 3 segments. His eye sockets are fairly large, yes. His nose is very shiny. I've already talked about how much I like the colors on this model. You know, per every Untwisted one, their chest splits open, and their face too. So, I've pretty much talked about everything with this one, so I'm gonna load up the next one. So, this is Untwisted Chica. She took a bit more time than the others to properly finish, because I also needed to make these little goobers over here, this one on her shoulder, and this one in her stomach. I needed to make those from scratch, and I needed to fit the endo to her costume. So, like I said before, that took a while. It also took a bit to figure out her textures, just how they should look, her specific coloring. It also took a bit to sort of sculpt these to where it kind of looked like bird limbs, I suppose. Here we have her eyes. They're a bit different from the others. They glow constantly from what I've seen. Twisted Chica was always a bit different from the other Twisted ones. You can see the fact that she has fleshy eyelids here, unlike most of the others, which I gave sort of more metallic eyelids. She always seemed a bit more alive to me than the others. As you can see, her chest is splitting open, revealing this goober inside of her torso. I had a big debate inside of my head as to where he would go, and I realized, yeah, this is probably pretty good. Like all of the others, she's fairly tall, and I extended this detail on her hands to here, on her legs. On the bib, we have eat. I tried to be as accurate as I could to the original concept, you know, the original design. It's off a bit, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine, personally. So I'll load up the final Untwisted one, and we'll go from there. Now, here we have the final Untwisted one. If I can recall correctly, this was the final... No, wait, that was Freddy. This is the second to last one I did, I think, right? I don't quite remember in what order I put out those shorts to display all of our progress, so I'm not certain if this was the second to last one to be finished. I know the very last was Freddy, but I suppose that doesn't really matter right now. You know, per usual, the claws. Roxy is in a bit of a sort of lunging stance. Her chest is split open. She has shoulder pads and knee pads, as you've seen. Not everyone has that. It took a bit of time to fit her endo jaw to her costume jaw. Yeah, it took a while to just fit the endo to this design in general, really. It's fairly unconventional as far as Five Nights at Freddy's designs go, and just how slim and unusual it can get. As you can see here, the eyes are, they're glowing. The eyes are kinda, no wait, the ears are kinda triangular. And unlike with most FNAF designs, this thing actually has a costume neck. Again, very unusual. The only... I think I've seen this on Ballora, and on, like, maybe Rockstar Chica, but beyond that, I don't remember seeing something like this on, like, most of Scott's models. As with the others, the face splits open, and inside of Roxy's torso, you can just see all of these glistening spring locks ready to just snapshot, crush anything inside. Not a very enticing idea, is it? And look at all those teeth, look at that second jaw in there. I really like how this design came out. Also, note the eyelids that I was talking about earlier with Chica, how these ones are metallic, and hers are more fleshy. Twisted Chica always really seemed to me the most alive one. And it was partially because, like, a lot of her features were different from the others. Like with the eyes, note how I did the eyes here. It's pretty similar to Twisted Bonnie, sort of. I won't go into the specifics of it, but she's different from the rest, and there's a reason why most people don't model her. So anyway, yeah, those were all the Untwisted ones. They're finally done, and you can finally have them. It took me a while to finish them, get them ready for release, but I think we won't have any problems now. If there are any, you should tell me, though, so I can fix them for later. This has been very fun, and I will get back to making the stuff with Willow Afton as well as Bear Scrap. Maybe something else too. I'm uncertain of just what I might make next because I do have a bit of a list. Okay, I have a bit of a list, but I'm not certain of what to make next because a lot of my options are very enticing. Alright, see you later. And we have a bright future ahead of us. There's lots to do. Goodbye.